Shalom Israel, this is Bishop Nathaniel. The Israelites have been scattered across the four corners of the earth, as prophesied in Deuteronomy the 20th chapter. Here in Israel United in Christ, we need your help to recover the remnant of our people, teach them the gospel. Please help us, support us, and join or donate to the Booster Club today. Shalom.
Before we used to be able to just build, go to the wood, forest, let's chop one down our tree. We used to actually be moderate on what we used to cut down. Today, look at what they've done, brother. It is estimated that about 60 to 70% of the forestry have been cut down here in America, brother. Think about that. What do you think that has done to the oxygen level? What do you think that has done to the livestock, to the animals? Animals have to die. Why? Because they live in trees. They live on the trees. They live in between them.
Right.
So guess what? Our wood, our trees is sold to us. What's your name? Checkers. That's your real name? Checkers? Okay. Oh, I like what you just said. You got some understanding, brother. He said that's the government name.
What?
This is Brother Giovanni, brother. I'm giving him a quick law. You see what brother right here, Checkers has? He has a beard on his face. Why do you have a beard?
I like it, man.
You like it? Okay, so now let's see who else likes it. Let's see what God says about a beard. Watch this. Read it again.
Leviticus chapter 21 and verse 5. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corner of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh.
So now you see what God said? He said you should not shave off your beard. You should not shave it. So this brother right here, hey, you got to let it grow. You got to let it grow because guess what? That's what shows your manliness, right? That's what differentiates you from what? A child, right? Checkers. And from a woman, more or less. Now, you, maybe. So now, who is the people today that don't have beards? Who grows beard normally, like normal, that's normal? Who? What people?
Anybody that can grow beard and that's able to grow beard?
No, brother, not anybody. My wife don't got a beard, I'll tell you that much. My wife don't got a beard.
Because there's some jobs where they don't let you wear a beard.
Right?
You gotta shave it.
Yeah, you got no choice, definitely. But we're not talking about what they telling you. We're talking about what's normal to society, right? And what's normal to God. What's normal to God is for the man to have a beard on their face. Like you that you have it, brother, keep that beard. Because that makes you different from what men, from women and children. You're a man. Not only that, on top of it all, God says that a man, Giovanni, you must have a beard. So now, brother, you believe in God, right? You don't believe, why not?
I don't believe in that God, but the Bible.
So what God you believe in?
You're looking for it right now.
You still looking for him? Brother, well, if you don't look in here, you ain't going to find him, brother.
I already tried.
You tried in this Bible? So what did you find that jacked you up?
Is that the David Bible?
That No, this is the King James Version Bible, the 1611. So now, this is interesting. Listen, Giovanni. The brother said that he don't believe in the Bible. Not in this Bible, but you do believe in God, right?
Yeah, I believe in the Creator.
You got the other one? The 1960. So this is the 1611. So let's touch this right quick. So the brother said you don't believe. So what did you study in here? What did you study in here that you don't believe in the Bible no more? Okay. I like what you said. I like that. I like that. So the brother said you got to start questioning the history. Now, does God say we got to do that? Yes. Yes. So now watch this, brother. The reason why you don't believe in this Bible no more or this God is because you weren't taught the right way and you weren't taught the right history. Watch this. Let's read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations.
Now, listen, God's saying, remember. We must remember the days of old. The days of old, brother, we don't even try to think back then. The days of old is going as far back as you can. From the genesis of creation, brother. The days of old is all the way to the beginning. So God is telling you, you know, like what you just said, Checkers. He said, you got to go back to the beginning. Read it again.
Deuteronomy 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee. Thy elders, and they will tell thee.
So now, an elder is what, brother? An elder is somebody that has some basic form of understanding, really. Because we have a lot of what? Elderly people. But a lot of them can teach us about our history. So who are your elders? My sister, my brother, your elders today are brothers that could actually go back into the Bible, into history, and actually teach you about your history. So now let's read King James right quick, brother. Let's read King James, because King James is going to help us identify a little bit about the Bible. And then I want to go into history. Check this. Okay, watch this. Read it.
This is the Compact Bible Dictionary. The definition of King James.
Who was he?
King James Version. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown was passed to James I, who had been king of Scotland for 37 years.
Now, King James was a king of Scotland, brother. So now, did you know that King James was a black king? You didn't know that. So this is why we have to research real history. So now, that's one of the things that you didn't know about the Bible that you say you don't believe in so much no more. The Bible, this Bible was translated by was authorized to be translated by a black king, not a white king. So read on.
King James Version. When Elizabeth died in 1603, the crown was passed to James I, who had been king of Scotland for 37 years, as James VI. Several months after he ascended to the throne of England, he authorized a new translation of the Bible.
So now, when he elevated to be the king of England, brother, you know, today you got your English rulers, princesses, Princess Diana got killed, and all the other ones. Well, guess what? They weren't ruling, brother, during this time. During this time, guess what? It was King James, and he was a black ruler, brother. Black. Read on.
He authorized a new translation of the Bible to replace the bishop's Bible. 47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups.
Now, listen to this. He's saying that 47 of the best of the best scholars. Now think about this, brother. Today, we could go into Google stuff, try to research on over the internet, and look for things. But during this time, brother, you know what they had to do? They actually had to open books and read. They spent years upon years actually reading. And they weren't distracted by the television. They weren't distracted by strip clubs. They weren't distracted by none of this foolishness. They were real scholars, brother. So 47 of the best scholars, King James, the black king, used to translate the Bible, right, from the Hebrew, the Greek. Read on.
47 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day were divided into 6 groups. 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New.
So 3 groups for the Old Testament. That's from Genesis, right? That's from Genesis on up. Read on.
3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha.
The 3 from Genesis to what's the last one? Malachi. And the New Testament, Matthew to Revelation. What's the other one that's missing in most books today? The Apocrypha. The Apocrypha, how many? 14 books? The Apocrypha has 14 books, brother, that they took out of the Bible. Why? Because when we read the Apocrypha, hermano, we could actually start reading history that connects the Old Testament with the New Testament. That is actually where you find the Greekish, how do you say it? The Greek captivity, the rulership during where the Greeks ruled. Okay? So now let's go. That's history. Remember, we read in the Bible, God said you must ask your elders, go back into history. So now we're going to read a little bit of history about our people, brother. Our people. So now I'm going to ask you some questions, checkers. So now, where you from originally, your parents, where they come from? From Mexico, right? So now, is that your nationality, checkers? Is that your nationality? Is that what you believe you are? It's a country at the moment, right? So now, is that your nationality? Es tu nación. Humanity. Earth is your nation. So why didn't you say that your nation is Earth, or you're from Earth from the beginning? You say you're from Mexico. So you're from Earth or you're from Mexico?
I mean, if you want the most, the specific answer, I'm from Earth.
You're from Earth.
If you want the answer on paper, I'm from Mexico.
Right. So now we are actually all from Earth, brother, because we all come from the dirt. But watch this, brother. Your last name, where does your last name come from? From Spain, right? Why does it come from Spain?
So you know they came over to Latin America. They took over with their mentality of expansion, their mentality of the monarchy wants just more territory. The fact that they came over, they took over like many countries. They took over many nations. Most of them were like the Indian people, my people of course, and that's where the mestizos came from. That's where I came from. That's why I'm able to grow a beard. That's why my colors are brown, and that's why my hair is kind of like dark brown, and not like a mestizo. You know, that's where it comes from.
Okay. That's heavy, brother, and that's very important that we understand that history. Most children today, most people our age, don't know that history.
Bring it out.
They are taught to forget that history.
Right.
So now, why is that important now? Because what you just said, brother, everything that you just said is actually written in the Bible.
Right.
What happened to our people, la colonización, right? With Hernán Cortés, Ponce de León, give me some more names. Christopher Columbus. All that is recorded in the Bible. So now we're going to start looking at this history and how it's recorded in the Bible. Watch this. We're going to start first let's start with Lamentations. Let's start with Lamentations 5 verse 1. Watch this, brother. Read it.
Lamentations chapter 5 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Now, before the Españoles, before they came over and conquered us, right, from South to North America, who was here other than us?
Native people.
No, nobody. We were the natives, bro.
Right.
We were the natives.
Right.
You know what native means? Yes, native, you are originally the originator of a location, of a place, right? Of a geographical location. We are the natives of this side of the world, brother. Right?
Right.
There was nobody else here before us, with us, none. So the native Indians, from the Aztecas, the Mayas, and Incas, we are actually one and the same people, living on different regions of this hemisphere. So now, read that part again.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Extranjero, a stranger, right? A stranger is something that is not natural. So now during the 1492, the start of the colonization of our people, right? The Europeans, they came from very far, brother. They came from Spain, they came from France, they came from all over the other side of the world, right? They were the strangers that came over to our lands.
Right.
God said that our inheritance, which is this side of the world, was turned to strangers.
Right.
How was it turned to them? Through the colonization, to the destruction of our people.
Right.
So now ellos se apoderizaron. Now they governed us. Now they took full control of our lands. Right? Read on.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our houses to aliens.
Our houses to aliens. Our houses to aliens. So now, listen to this, brother. This is how important it is. Today, brother, while we stand on our native land, what do they say to our people? What do they say about the immigrants? What do they say about us, brother?
They called us aliens.
They call us aliens, brother. Illegal aliens. Go back to your land. Bro, we are in our land. What are you talking about? You took it from us. You took our people. You murder us. Right? You put Mexico into debt, and now you're talking about go back to your land, you alien. But this is our land. We're naturally born here. We was naturally here. God called them, when Cristóbal Colón llegó, he called them the real aliens.
That's right.
Right? So read on.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless.
So now check this out, brother. When they came, where's it at? Right here. When they came, this is why history is so critical with our people that we understand.
Bring it out.
When it says that we are orphans, right? we could see what happened then. The Bible says, you know what the Bible says? It says, there is no new thing under the sun. So what you see happening to our people today is the same thing that happened back then. So when you see the children being taken from their family on the border, right? What are those children? When your parents are taken from, what is that child? Okay, what is he now?
What do you mean?
That child, if your son is taken away from you, your son now becomes what? When he doesn't have a mother or a father, what is he now? An orphan. He becomes an orphan. So God said we are orphans. Today, it's happening to our people, brother. In numbers that we don't even comprehend. We go by the numbers that the news media give us, but we know the television is all a bunch of lies. So the numbers are much higher than what they tell us. So back then, guess what, brother? When Christopher Columbus, right, Ponce de Leon, and the rest of these murderers came, they did the same thing. They took our parents, our fathers, they took our forefathers into slavery. They took them to what? They took them to France. They took to Portugal. They took them to Spain, Madrid. They took them to all these locations, brother. And what was happening to the children? Now the children had no parents, none. So we was orphans then, the same as being put as orphans today. Now, when you examine history, brother, when you look at it, what other people, start comparing it, start listening, what other people actually has gone through such a terrible time like we've gone through?
Bring it out.
What people, like, let's really look at history. What people? The black people.
That's right.
Go to Jeremiah 50 right quick. Jeremiah 50 right quick. The black, it's heavy that you say the black people. You know why? No, but you know why it's so heavy that you said that? Because the so-called black people and the so-called Hispanics, we are actually the same race. We are the same people, bro. Look at that right there. That is the children of Israel. That is all people. The blacks, Native Indians, and so-called Hispanics, brother, we make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Now watch this, brother. History is important. History is very relevant. It's relevant, brother. Read it.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together.
So now, this is the children of Israel is the northern kingdom. I don't want to confuse you, but the children of Israel is what today are the Hispanics, Hispanos. Judah is the so-called Jew, not the so-called, the Jews, brother. The real Jews are the so-called black people. Okay? So now, in these days, in this time, just like today, you know, like you said, the blacks, in those times, we call them Judah. Today, they call us Hispanics. In those times, the Judites, the blacks, they called us Israel. Look at Israel over there. Like today, they say, look at the Hispanics. Back then, they used to say, look at Israel over there. Like today, we say, look at the blacks. Back then, we used to say, look at the Judites. So this is our brothers. It says that blacks and Hispanics, that we were oppressed together. That's why in 1492, this happened to so-called Native Indians, right? And in 1519, what happened? No, not 15. In 1619, who did it happen to también? To the black people, brother. The black people. Through what? Slavery. Slavery. So now, when it says that we became orphans, it's because our fathers was taken to other lands as slaves. As slaves. What verse are you on? Verse 3. Read on.
We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
See, our mothers were as widows. Why? Now they didn't have the husband. Now they didn't have the husband. Just like today, brother. We could see so many things that it's comparable. Like today, what's comparable? Back then, they took us into captivity to other lands. You want to know what's the captivity that they have us in today? Prison. Say it again, brother.
Prison.
The prison system. The prison system. Yes. So now what happens to the mothers, the wives, when the husband is stuck in prison? What happens? What is she? She is now a widow. She is widowed. Why? Because her husband ain't there. Usually a widow, her husband is dead. But the husband ain't there. He can't take care of the child. He can't raise them up. And now what happens? Children are jacked up. This is what's happening today. This today, brother, is modern captivity. Modern slavery. I'm glad you understand that. Read on.
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us.
So now it says that we are drunken our water for money. So now our water, brother, our water back then, guess what? Back then we used to rule the forest. We used to shower and bathe in lakes and rivers. It was ours. But now guess what then? Guess what? If we wanted to eat, who fed us? They did. Right here. The blacks, right? When they was in captivity and slavery, who did they have to go for their food? Their masters. Their drink, their masters. Same, we had to go for our food, our water, to our masters. Now, today, brother, let's look at today, brother. Are we able to just live off of water without paying for it? We cannot. There's no new thing under the sun. Today, we cannot live off of water. We cannot even shower a good shower, without paying for hot water. You see how we gotta still pay for that? God said that God's people who were destroyed, their water was gonna be sold to them. Why is it say they're our water? Why do you think it says our water? No, it belongs earth. No, it's the other way around. Earth belonged to us.
That's right.
Us. Not in. When I say us, remember, I'm just talking about our people. The Bible here is not referring to every nation. And I'm going to prove that to you, brother. Because not every nation has gone and is still going through what our people have gone through for many, many millennia. You understand that? So now let's finish this off and then let's go to Deuteronomy.
We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is so unto us.
Our wood is what we use to construct our lumber. We can't just go into any lot and start building on your own. You can't do that. You gotta have permits. You gotta buy the lumber. Before we used to be able to just build, go to the wood, forest, let's chop one down our tree. We used to actually be moderate on what we used to cut down. Today, look at what they've done, brother. It is estimated that about 60 to 70% of the forestry have been cut down here in America, brother. Think about that. What do you think that has done to the oxygen level? What do you think that has done to the livestock, to the animals? Animals have to die. Why? Because they live in trees. They live on the trees. They live in between them. So guess what? Our wood, our trees is sold to us.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.